according to the Red Table Talks. Like if you go back to the videos and she's like, oh, this is the guy when she was on Oprah. Okay, but when I saw the Red Table Talk, I got, oh, so he was like really the one who was all into her, and she was just going along with it. That's what I got out of it. So, but go ahead. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I interrupted
And
somebody.
then just let's say her mother was pressuring her to marry him.
Mm-hmm.
When a woman like wants you for real, she'll fight against her family to get it done. Like, nah, we gotta figure this out. Let me try. Damn, she don't got to be pressured into it.
This is an example
Yeah,
of, I know that Will Smith, it was born in Philadelphia, born and raised. But I think
You're
they're
not
just
gonna finish the rest of the
you're
song.
cut from different cloths. You say what?
You weren't gonna finish the rest of the song. You
Oh,
said
I
shit
wanted
like
to,
on
but I
beat.
was like, let me just shut up some more.
You said it on beat. I was
I
like,
was
you just
really.
go, oh,
Did you hear that pause? Because I was wanting to just say the
what
rest
the
of
I
it.
was like, okay.
I just think they're cut from different cloths. I think that she was into like the Tupacs, the they, what was the Canes? Not Kane like the real Kane, but I'm just like that personality, that persona. Um, and here's Will, squeaky clean, singing jiggy with it. He don't got to cuss, sell albums.
they say her and Tupac used to laugh at his music, like he was a joke to them. Now, whenever a woman is talking to another man, ridiculing you like that, you dead in the water, bro. You dead in the water. Like
Yeah,
I was telling the homies, you can't, like, if you from the suburbs and you trying to date a girl that's actually really hood, it's never gonna work for that reason. She always gonna look at you like you a lion.
yep. But the part that I don't get, I mean, so yeah, it is this type of level of disrespect that is just really weird because you don't bring in. It's about the mystery. I think I've talked about this on my show. Every woman understands that you're supposed to, even if you don't respect the guy, you have to respect him enough to establish perceived dominance over his household. They be like, I'm not gonna do that. That's gonna make him look crazy. Like a lot of women understand, like maybe they've lost respect or he did something or he cheated, but they're like, that's still the father of my kids. I'm not gonna do him like that. That's when the sharks are gonna start. They're gonna see blood in the water. Like women are smart enough to know you're not supposed to do that to your husband. So she either lost respect or never had respect for this guy in the first place, or that I do think there's two things at play here. They have a level of celebrities, I mean, have a level of attention seeking I don't think many of us as ordinary civilians may understand. So I think she is constantly at odds with doing what's right by him and or her career. Because I can clearly see that this might be one of those relationships where I'm not just Will Smith's wife. Like, you see what I'm saying? It could be that too. I'm I'm the Hawthorne. I can do things too, and the only ammo she can muster to get her back in the spotlight, to make her that it girl of the moment, to give her another 15 minutes, is the tea that people want to hear, which is stuff about her marriage. So I think there's multiple theories out there about them.
I'm actually curious what happened at the very beginning. Like, what conversations were really being had that we are unaware of? Like, I'm curious because it's hard for me to picture a man, the kind of man I think Will Smith is, right? To picture that kind of dude just accepting, knowing he's not number one. It's hard for me to picture that. And from what we know,
Okay.
and from what we know, Tupac has always been was her guy. And why Will Smith would have chosen to be number two in her heart, if she has one, is beyond me. It doesn't make sense to me. But let's just go ahead and play this out and say that he knew everything about him being number two. Everything subsequent to that is his fault. Everything that has happened in their family is his fault.
Um,
Period.
to answer your question, so according to her Red Table Talk, first of all, Will Smith was just getting over a divorce and he was still healing. So she was like a rebound, so to speak. He called her and was like, hey, let's do this. It was kind of like healing a broken heart. So you're right. He wasn't in his right frame of mind when he met, got with her. It was like a bounce back. Oh, I need to get my mind off of what I have going on here. And so he rushed into something else. That really was what I gathered from their interview together.
Which then makes it even more his fault. He this is what's happening now is just a long line of things that has happened to him in regards to his relationship with Jada since that time that he wasn't completely healed and he chose to be number 2 in this woman's life and then chose to marry her. Is that simple? Like I think she's a broken woman, but shit, like it's still on him. I can't blame her for anything that's happened to him or their relationship because he made this choice.
You know what?
That's pretty simple to me.
I agree with what you're saying, but let's just be honest. This dude was in his 20s. Like, a lot of people got it wrong in their 20s. That's why the divorce rate is what it is. And he's no different from that. It's just that he's a celebrity and his just happens to have a big mouth. So I think that we have to give him grace just like we give any other 20-something-year-old.
I don't give myself grace, so how can I give this dude grace? What happened to me was my fault. What happened to me was all on me, right? So what's happening to him is all on him. Like, why would I no, we have to accept accountability for our decisions. And he chose to be number 2, period.
Grace doesn't mean that you don't accept accountability for your decisions. It's just that it gives you the space to say, okay, I messed up. You know what? I can't dwell in this. Let me go ahead and move forward. I'm not going to keep beating myself up over making this poor decision. Doesn't mean you don't accept accountability for it, though.
What I hear is, it was my fault, but. And what do they say about the word? What before the word but? No, let's just say I give grace. This is his second marriage, so he messed up twice. This is all on him.
Yeah, he
no other way around it.
First wife to be with her. He was he was in a wrong relationship with the wrong woman, and he was like, yeah, he didn't want to be in that relationship anymore.
Yeah, but he didn't leave his first wife for Jada, though.
Yeah, she left him. His first wife left him, and that's why he was heartbroken. His first wife said she just didn't want the relationship anymore. It was like just that brutal, like, I don't love you. I don't want the relationship anymore. And he was like, oh.
Yeah, I think with Will, I think this is what a lot of brothers subconsciously may fear, is that when you are trying to give women the world and you're trying to give them the world that they think that they're asking for, and then it blows up in your face, you're just like, what was I supposed to do? She asked for this. She wanted this. I wanted to show this grand gesture of what it was that I'm doing. And then she going to turn around, sit here and say, oh, what you gave to me, you was really giving to yourself. When a brother puts what he thinks is all his eggs and all the things that he want to give this woman, he think he doing what he's supposed to do. And she come back and tell him, nah. Like, a lot of brothers take a lot of pride in what we can give to our women. And for that to basically be like a smack in the face after he did all of that. And then also, it seems like he's also a very emotional man. And it's sometimes not a very respectable thing for men to be super emotional or be vulnerable with their emotions, because some women will literally lose respect for you when you're not something that is solid or what they would deem solid. So I think that plays a part. And the fact that what you guys were saying as far as like, he wasn't what she really wanted in the long run. And so it's just a whole bunch of trickle down effects from after that.
I don't think Will into her no more. I think Will got another side thing. I think that she just wants some attention, and Will ain't giving it to her no more. I think that Will is probably in love with somebody else. He just going with the flow. That's what I think.
I think he did leave his first wife though.
He didn't. She left. He said the story. He said that she said that she didn't want to be married to him no more.
So
like she literally came out her mouth and said, "I don't want to be married to you anymore." He's like, "No, I'm not getting divorced." And she said, "But I don't love you." He's like, "Oh, that's all you had to say." And
So-
that was
why was she so upset about the breakup then? Because she like harbored feelings against Jada for a while and all this other stuff. Like,
well,
let me look it up.
women are jealous creatures like that. That's just how that. But go back and look at the table talk. It was a table talk. It was an interview with her and Jada. I mean Jada and Will, and he said out of his mouth, Cherie told him she did not want to be in a marriage anymore, and she did not love him. And that's the only because he wanted to fight for his marriage, and that's the only reason he let her go. That came out of his mouth.
So I think there was an interview with his ex-wife, or I don't know how it came out, but there is a clip circulating somewhere saying that like he was basically like pushing her out, and that's what caused her to not love him anymore. So, and like we've seen this time and time again, right? Where the guy becomes the jerk and puts you in a position to leave so that he's not the one to call it quits. So she was basically feigning that like he had done that to her. But I wanted to also address what Harrison was saying about the sacrifices that men make for women. The thing is like women really respect a man that respects himself. And the men who feel hurt by the sacrifices that they make are only hurt because they compromise themselves. The men who give and sacrifice and do duty because they feel like it and it's taken for granted, those men typically chalk it up to the game. They're not really hurt by it because they were going to do it regardless. But when you give up that piece of yourself to give to that woman and then she doesn't respect it, that's what really causes that hurt, right? And so I think a lot of men, will included, need to just have way better and firmer boundaries.
You see why I'm a robot? Y'all see that?